As a long-term fan of the Yakuza series, it's been nice to see that it's slowly starting to get the recognition it deserves in the West, although its initial scarcity in Europe meant that I was a little bit worried that it would rocket in price and become one of those niche games that you'd have to pay a small ransom for in order to get a hold of it. Thankfully, we managed to snag a copy of Yakuza 0 and quickly went back in time to 1988, the year after my birth and the year that Yakuza 0 takes place. This time around, series protagonist Kazuma Kiryu is a young and impressionable guy, looking to impress as he attempts to make his mark. Like so many games in the series though, you're quickly thrown into a mystery, after a suspicious murder causes you to resign from your Yakuza family in order to clear both your name and your mentors. It's also a good time to point out that Yakuza 0 is perfect for series newcomers. There's no convoluted plot lines that require knowledge of the earlier released games, and no real backstory that you'll need to be aware of. Just know that you'll be playing a game about a youngster in the Yakuza, and you'll be good to go. A great excuse to introduce yourself to a wonderful series.
どうや、神様からのお恵みは。ありがとうございます。私はこの酒を一度浴びるように飲んでみたかったのですが、おかげさまで夢が叶いました。
I wanted to play more to find out what was going on and to see its conclusions, but at odds with that plan though was the side content that I kept finding myself coming back to. It's the age-old issue that will forever plague video game narratives set in a sandbox or open-world environment. Yep, I'm aware that there's a plot point that's just happened which means I really should travel somewhere immediately, but there's a Space Harrier arcade machine on the way and I'm absolutely compelled to play it. Speaking of Space Harrier, for those who constantly compare Shenmue to Yakuza, you're wrong by the way, this is probably the closest one to it thanks to the year Yakuza 0 is set in, but also the inclusion of Outrun and Space Harrier arcade machines, which also features in Yu Suzuki's classic. It's been a long time since I've dabbled with both of those old games, and it was a nice surprise to see both here. But let's move on before I turn this into a Space Harrier and Outrun review. There aren't just arcade machines to distract you in Yakuza 0 though. Bowling, darts, pool, karaoke and dancing are just a few of the many activities you can find yourself spending hours doing. For those who have played previous games, you won't find too many new things to do, but they're all as addictive as you remember. The close-knit nature of the world also allows it to feel alive. There's things to do at every turn, and you won't find yourself aimlessly walking for minutes on end looking for things to do like in other sandbox titles. Side stories play a major role and really eat up your time while following the main tale. You'll often be interrupted going from A to B by these, and almost all of them are intriguing to follow, with a number providing a nice break from the serious main plotline. In fact, its quirky humour is unlike anything you'll probably play this year, unless of course you play the upcoming Yakuza Kiwami, a remake of the first game, or Yakuza 6, if it makes it out this year. Kazuma Kiryu isn't the only playable character in Yakuza 0 though. The series' much loved Goro Majima is also playable and is introduced a few hours into the story. It doesn't change the gameplay up too much, but those familiar with past Yakuza games will be intrigued to see how Majima started his journey to developing into the crazy persona he has in the more recent titles. You'll also be doing a lot of fighting in Yakuza, and its well-established system has been tweaked to allow for multiple different fighting styles this time around. I often found myself sticking to the tried and tested method, but using the quicker rush style or the more aggressive beast style helped out in various situations while I was playing as Kazuma. You'll also be able to spend money to upgrade your abilities as you go, as that's the currency in this one compared to the experience points you found in previous games. For newcomers, Yakuza 0 offers enough to make it a worthwhile purchase with over 100 hours worth of content. For those returning to the series, apart from a new story, you'll be walking a similar path to what's come before, which, depending on how fatigued you feel from the past games, may be a good or a bad thing.